Is Wednesday, California time, 10 a.m. And we're going to be doing our meditation. But before that, we'll just have a little chit chat on certain topics. And one thing that people always like to talk about is our mantras or words of power. But before we do that, let's ask for divine blessing, shall we? To the divine supreme God, divine Father, divine Mother, to all the spiritual elders, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers. Personally, to my teacher, Master Chokok Sui Mahaguji Mailing, we humbly invoke for divine light, divine love, guidance, help, healing, and divine protection. We thank you in full faith. So it is. All right. So we've had great feedback from a lot of you. I know a lot of you just came from the Unleash the Power Within a few days ago. And I know the time's a little different. A lot of you are in Asia or in Australia, so welcome. Anyway, we've been doing this meditation trail, if you want to call it that way, for several months already. Originally, this was supposed to be a 3-week meditation to just help people deal with COVID-19 thing. This was way back in March. And I guess it kept going because a lot of people said they like it and gave them a routine for spiritual practice. So lately what we've done is we've included some spiritual topics so that in addition to the meditation, at least you're learning something new when it comes to spirituality and how to apply these spiritual teachings in your life. All right? So that gives you a little bit of context. Now, so today I was just thinking, maybe we'll talk a little bit about mantras or words of power. So many people have so many ideas and opinions on it. Let's try to do a short, very minute understanding meditation on it, okay? Because you're going to hear people say, oh, by the way, if you chant this 3 times and stand your head, spin around, you'll suddenly be enlightened. You hear a lot of this cockamania stuff. So let's just kind of break it down. What is a mantra? So a mantra basically is a word, a set of words that trigger a certain energetic response, okay? Now, in the Taoist tradition, they say mantras protect the mind. When you say protect the mind, the question is, why does it protect the mind? Because a mantra has many, many components, okay? To kind of super simplify it for now, later on I'm going to come up with an online course on the science of mantras. Literally going deep into it, what it is, what it can do, what are the different applications. But for now, let's just talk a little bit about what are the basics of chanting mantras. First of all, you need minimum of 2 components. These 2 components is a power source and a receptive person doing it, okay? A power source, in other words, that this particular mantra has a certain reservoir of energy somewhere in the energy world, like the cloud, like we have Adobe has a cloud, Microsoft has a cloud, Google has a cloud, right? Cloud, and that means this is like a accumulation of data or energy or information. Make sense? So that mantra has to have a certain reservoir of energy. And number 2, whoever's chanting it have to be receptive. Otherwise, here's what happens. You have that energy on all that data, and you have someone who says, oh, I'm going to try this mantra thing. I don't believe in it, but, I'll just do it. So when they do that, they are not receptive. It's just like trying to conduct massive amounts of electricity with a rubber hose. It's kind of dumb, right? So that's why if you tell someone, oh, chant this mantra, but they go, oh, I don't believe that, hocus pocus, you could have something that will change the world, but it doesn't do anything. It's a complete waste of time. That's why when people have experienced religion being shoved down their throat, it doesn't go anywhere. Because you could have a super powerful source of energy, but if it doesn't conduct, it doesn't do anything. Make sense? So in order for a mantra to work, that energy has to be able to transmit and be conducted and received by the other person. Make sense? So when that happens, when that conduit reaches the person chanting it, then the effect will happen. Now, when it comes to the mantra, again, it's such a wide range. For example, what mantra, how it's pronounced, who's been using it, how long has the mantra been around, okay? And what type of frequencies does the mantra trigger? Just to make it super duper simple, let's take Om. When you chant Om, what does it mean? I don't know, a lot of people chant it. Well, you can understand, you go, oh, The mantra Om actually is connected to the attributes of God. What are the attributes of God? God is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. What's your problem with Om? Right? And then some of you, when you're meditating, even if you don't believe in it, whatever, you're just meditating, you're having your quiet time of prayer, sometimes you hear a humming sound. Because the Om is a universal frequency that is basically reverberating throughout the entire universe. So some of you, when you're meditating, you could almost sense, not auditorily, but somehow intuitively, you could sense or almost hear energetically there's this humming sound. And if you practice stillness, there's almost like an initiation, how do you call it? It's initiated and it drags. So it's like, okay? But some of you hear like that. Then if you go a little further, you go, all right, but how come I hear Tibetan monks, they chant, Om, and you hear some people chant, Om, and you hear people chant, Om, different pitches, because different pitches had different effects. So to kind of give you an idea, when you chant Om with a lower pitch, it stimulates more of the lower chakras. When you chant like normal, like Om, mid part, when people chant at a higher pitch, it activates higher chakras. Make sense? So the question is, why do Tibetan monks chant at a very low pitch? There are many, many reasons. One reason is to help ground you. Because, imagine they're meditating in a temple since they were a kid. So there's a tendency, you're in that spiritual energy, swimming in that spiritual energy for the last, 20, 30 years. If you don't do any form of grounding, there's a tendency to space out. So one of the ways, this is not the only way, one of the ways to ground them, you went to Om, Om Mani Padme Om, Om. When they do that, what happens? The lower chakras go, so it grounds them. Okay? Now, another reason for chanting low pitch, let me just get a book on this to show you, if I can, is at the lower part of your spine, there is a power source called Kundalini. And some of you who have studied a lot, you already know Kundalini is a sensitizing agent, which is essentially, how to call it? It amplifies whatever senses you have. So, for example, when you're meditating, sorry, I'm flipping through the page to find it for you while we're doing this. Anyway, I'll do it later. When you're meditating, you're trying to experience stillness. And some of you see visions, some of you sense this blissful sensation. You see you hear messages, you sense messages. All of these are happening beyond the five senses. So our original senses are sight, sound, smell, touch, taste. But any of your spiritual experiences are beyond the five senses. It's just that once it's pulled down from the higher worlds, your five senses will experience it on a certain level. Make sense? Now, this process is very, very slow. It's called spiritual evolution. The good news is, when this power source called Kundalini reaches your brain in a big amount, then it sensitizes your brain and nervous system to register those signals. It's just like you have an AM radio, you cannot register FM signals until you change the hardware. Luckily, we don't need brain and nervous system transplant. You just need to make sure that you need to sensitize the brain and nervous system enough that it can capture those frequencies. Make sense? So when Tibetan monks chant at a very low pitch, Om Mani Padme Om, whatever mantra they're chanting, one of the purposes is, as they chant it, it also triggers that energy to be able to go up the spine and sensitize their brain, and they have their, out of this world experiences. Make sense? So a lot of these, components are very, very critical. And when you understand it, it gives you one thing that allows the mantra to be more powerful. It's called certainty. Because when you have certainty, your ability to absorb this energy from that mantra becomes more powerful. I'll give you an example. When you chant Om Namah Shivaya Om, let's break it down. Om is Om, the universal sound. Namaha, or Nama, is to, like you say Namaste, is to salute. Shiva is the first person in the Hindu Trinity, the power aspect of God. Om is just to finish it. All right? So there's a saying in the, I think it's the Yoga Patanjali Sutras, which is one of the primers for yoga and meditation. It says a meditation on the mantra has to include Om to start and Om to finish. Like a sandwich. Okay? That's why Om Namah Shivaya Om. Whatever Hindu mantra you chant, there's always Om at the start, Om at the end. This one is to open up the portal, the other one is to seal it. Make sense? When you've joined us for, what do you call this? Great Invocation, we chant Om 3 times, and if you hear me say, I'll go, okay, let's chant Om 3 times to open the portal. Now, don't get weird on me and say, oh, suddenly I'm in another dimension, I go to another universe. Maybe, but that's not what I'm saying. If you're going to get weird on me, go find another teacher, okay? But just try to understand you're opening up the energy portal so more energy can flow through. And when you're done, during the meditation, you bless the earth, you do this, so the energy is already flowing. When you finish by 3 ohms, you kind of seal that energy so it doesn't leak. Okay, that's kind of oversimplifying, but something like that. Now, when you say Om Namah Shivaya Om, there are many levels of truth. Shiva, when you say Om Namah Shivaya Om, one level of truth says, I salute Shiva. You go, well, wait a minute, I'm not the Hindu. Why would I salute Shiva? The next level of truth, if you understand it, you go, well, Shiva is the power aspect of God. So when I chant Om Namah Shivaya Om, I'm triggering and invoking or tapping into the power aspect of my soul. Right? That's another level of truth. The next level of truth would be when you say Om Namah Shivaya Om, that means I'm one with my spiritual self. You see, in India, when mom is pregnant in the 7th month, they will throw mom a big party. Right? A lot of you from India who are watching, you know this. And oftentimes they say, well, Shiva visits the pregnant woman on the 7th month. And when that happens, essentially, if you have a clairvoyant look, when a mom is pregnant in the 7th month, sometime in the 7th month, a brilliant light comes down our mother's crown and settles 1 foot above our head when we're still a fetus in the uterus. At that point, there's an opening like this, so massive amount of spiritual energy comes in. So at that time, massive amounts of the energy from the higher soul enters the baby. So in that case, when they say Om Namah Shivaya Om, when they say Shiva visits the pregnant mother, they're describing the soul. So you see, depending on your understanding of the mantra will determine your receptivity. So a person who is very, very devotional, oh, I salute Shiva, so they're a Shiva follower. So they tap into that energy. But if you're the kind of person who says, okay, I believe that all religions are just different expressions and different pathways to the same God, then you go, okay, what does it mean? Shiva is the power aspect of God. Okay, so when I'm chanting Om Namah Shivaya Om, I'm tapping into a universal will aspect of God, so I can utilize that energy to get things done, to charge forward in my life. You get the idea? So, well, most people that I know of, when they chant this, oh, I thought this is a powerful mantra. Well, why do you chant it? Because I was told by a priest. That's good. It has its purpose. In your case, if you understand it and you chant it properly, not only do you get the energy, the certainty allows you to channel it, allows you to utilize it more effectively. Make sense? Now, another aspect to consider is who taught you the mantra. That's why in many traditions, for example, in transcendental meditation, which most likely, with thousands of you watching, a lot of you probably have tried it, they initiate you, right? They give you a mantra. You have to be initiated. So when they say initiated, there are many aspects. So initiated means to start. So that assumes something, that whoever's initiating you, that soul has already tapped into the power of that mantra itself. Otherwise, it's just like asking someone who's a nuclear physicist to teach you art. Not going to work. They're not substantially well versed in it or master the subject. Make sense? But if you have somebody like Van Gogh or Leonardo da Vinci, well, no, Leonardo da Vinci knows too many things. Let's say it's a great artist, and they're going to teach you to paint, then they already tap into that energy, they're a master of it, they can teach you. Like a nuclear physicist, and teach you about nuclear physics. Make sense? So when somebody's going to initiate you in a mantra, it has to be that person, spiritual cord, has already tapped into that mantra, the power that reserves that mantra in order to initiate you. Make sense? I think this is too cerebral for a lot of you, huh? Because some of you say, oh, I thought I was just supposed to chant. Well, you've known me enough When you come to our classes, we don't just do things blindly. We try to understand it, we utilize it. That gives us certainty, and that way we can apply it to improve our lives. Okay? Now, and last thing I want to share with you, then we'll meditate, is who is chanting? You go, of course, I'm chanting. All right, who are you? Are you the body with the mouth that's just moving and vocal cords moving air and have this mantra? Or is it the soul that's chanting? Next question. Which soul is chanting? The lower soul, the higher soul? Make sense? So, by understanding these things, it changes things completely. That's the difference with having teacher and no teacher. Because most people, they should read a book, oh, this mantra has this effect. On what basis? Because you read it? I could come up with a mantra and make something up and make it exotic, and you will know the difference. Right? So that's why it's very, very important to study. What is the mantra? What is the purpose? What are the components of the mantra? How do you chant it? How often you chant it? Who taught it to you? Where did that mantra come from? That's why very seldom will you hear me say the word surrender. Because oftentimes when people say, oh, surrender to God, surrender to the mantra, so on, so on, so on, that's for people who are very, very devotional. To an engineer, that's almost impossible. However, our version of surrender is, if we understood it and we see how it can be used, then at that point, we're super receptive to it. That's our version of surrendering to it. See the difference? I know what you're saying. Yeah, but you don't trust. Well, who's that president? Trust and verify? Because it does not mean when you get on the spiritual path, you leave your brain to the car. God gave you a brain so you can understand things. And by trying to understand things does not mean you don't have faith. That's a mistake a lot of people make. Well, if I try to question it, that means I don't have faith. No. You just don't understand what the heck you're doing. Make sense? So if this is not the type of talk you like to hear, because you're the type of, oh, I trust, blah, 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 then go find another teacher. Because the way we do everything here is we do our best to understand what we're doing. So when we practice, we do things, there is certainty. Because certainty is directly connected to the flow of energy. Now you go, well, certain things cannot be proven. True. You're absolutely right. So the way my teacher explained is something like this. So let's say you studied something, and you go, there's no way for me to verify this. So I remember my teacher said, then this is what you do. You look at the track record of who taught it to you, or the author of the book. What is the track record? Does this teacher have a track record of being right? Are they teaching sound based on your experience? If yes, then you say, okay, I'll take this as true temporarily until I can verify it for myself. That's that. Let's go back to what Lord Buddha said. Do not believe everything to be true just because the masses believe it. Do not believe something to be true just because it's written in scriptures. Do not believe something to be true, and there's a big long list of it. And the last one, which is the the clincher, he goes, do not believe anything blindly. Do not believe anything just because I said it. You're talking about someone with the aura bigger than this planet. If somebody as advanced as he is will tell you, analyze, understand, experience before absorbing it to be true, taking it to be true, there's your instruction right there. He didn't say, by the way, just believe me, trust me, don't question. We want spiritual practitioners that are not just loving. We want them to be intelligent, and we want them to be powerful. When a person just surrenders and don't think, that means they're very loving, but does not really mean that they are using their mental faculty, and does not really mean that they will get things done. Think about it. That's why in what we practice called Arhatic Yoga, one of the main pillars in our practice is called study. Study means internal study and external study. Internal study means know who I am, know my strengths, know my weaknesses. External study means study the right books, study the right information, so that by combining these two, we have a clear understanding of what our inner life and outer life is. So mantras, the study of mantra is just basically one branch of that study on how to apply it on yourself and your environment. So here's what we're going to do today, just slightly different. You see, when you chant, and this is the important part to remember, and when we have time, I'll cover it more in next time, because we're supposed to be meditating. It's just a short lecture. Most people, you say, okay, chant Om. They should go, Om, Om, Om. So it's just their mouth moving air. Does it do anything? Maybe. But if you go, okay, Om is a universal sound, I'll first practice stillness the best I can, and I'll chant Om. At that point, it's the lower soul chanting. Now, for some of you who are new, I'll just oversimplify it. The soul is a spiritual being made of pure energy and light. And this soul is pure energy, is perfect, but not, is pure, but not yet perfect. Let's do this again. The soul is what? Pure energy, but not yet perfect. Because if the soul is already perfect, what the heck are we doing here? Make sense? So evolution involves a certain time. In that time, a certain process is happening, and a bunch of screw-ups or mistakes, or the soul calls course corrections. Yeah, correcting your course. So that process of evolution is necessary because soul is not yet perfect. Make sense? Now, in order for the soul to learn, the soul has to gather data. Since this being is made of pure energy, in order to gather physical data, it needs a physical body to move around in. In order to gather emotional data, it needs an emotional machine to generate feelings, to interact with other people, to come up with certain conclusions of what it's like to love, what it's like to be emotionally in pain, depressed, happy, and so on and so on. Then this soul also needs a mental machine to gather mental data, as in studying, thinking, and studying. Right? Okay. So that said, that part of the soul that is using these machines, the physical, emotional, mental machine, is what you call the lower soul, or the incarnated soul. The originator is the higher soul. That's why when you do things, you notice you're doing certain thing. Okay, you're doing something, and you go, oh man, I can't believe I screwed up. I should have known better. I already know before I made this mistake, part of me was already watching myself and saying, don't do that. Have you had that experience? Have you had an experience of doing something really dumb and you're watching yourself do it? I have. And you say, oh, that's just my conscience. Where'd that conscience come from? You mean you have a camera floating here like a GoPro looking at you? No, that's the spiritual self, the higher soul, looking through a tunnel called the spiritual cord, which is the pipeline above your head, looking down into its instrument as it functions in the lower worlds. So when you're chanting, initially most people, it's the incarnated soul using the mouth chanting. Then when you go in deeper meditation, when you're chanting silently, it is the higher soul that's chanting. I think I lost you. Anyway, to make it easier for you, that's why I brought this book. Okay, the ones who are new, get a hold of the book, Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul. It talks about the higher soul, the lower soul, the connection is written by my teacher. It's in the bookstore here. If you just go to parenting.com or magico.org, and we're teaching a class again on this, what the heck is that? August 17, 18, somewhere there. All right, 2 full-day course where we just dive into it. And the ones who already took the class, we have a surprise for you. So if you decide to retake the class, review, we'll go even deeper because I get bored. For me, that same information has so many aspects that we can learn more. Anyway, let's go back. So what we'll do is this. We'll guide you through the meditation, the chanting, and then we'll go deeper tonight's session. Okay? Because I already yacked too much for 26 minutes. All right. Let's do this, shall we? Don't worry, I won't make it complicated. If any of you know me long enough, I don't like things that are complicated. I like things that are complex, made simple, so that you and I can use it. Yeah? All right. Shall we? Put your hands on your heart. Repeat after me. I am that. I am. I'm not the body. I'm not the emotion. I'm not the thoughts. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am that. Just be still. Just focus on your crown. I am that. I am connected in one to my higher soul. I am that. The higher soul. I am connected in one to the divine spirit in me. I am a child of God. I am one with God. I am one with all. There is only oneness. I am that. That am I. The real I. Now just be still. Just leave your awareness way above your head. Just lower your hands on your lap. Sit straight. Your awareness is way above your head. Simultaneously, we will chant Om 3 times. So wherever you are, you're going to chant Om with me verbally. Doesn't have to be loud. Just chant 3 times. The rest you will be guided. Just be still. Again. Now just allow your awareness just drift into that space before the next Om. Let your complete attention settle in that empty space and fill it. entire awareness and consciousness is now completely in that empty space. You are one with it. Just listen. You're not the body, you're not the emotion, you're not the thoughts. You are the soul, a being of pure energy. That is your true nature. Be still and let go. Maintain your stillness. Maintain your awareness. Just listen to my voice. You will now chant silently. No sound. I will chant verbally. You just follow silently. Om. Om. Maintain your stillness. Maintain your awareness. Just listen. Om. Allow your awareness to just drift into that space before the next Om and settle there. Om. You're going deeper and deeper into that empty space and just fill it completely with your consciousness. Om. Be still And just allow your consciousness and awareness to just drift deeper and deeper into that stillness, and just simply let go and let things be now. Just let go. Any sound, any noise you hear, will just gently, lovingly, and just lovingly let you drift deeper into that stillness right now. Maintain your stillness. Maintain your awareness. As I chant Om, allow your awareness to be completely embedded in the sound that I'm chanting. Your entire awareness is like woven into the sound. And be aware of the stillness within the Om now. Om. Simultaneously meditate on the stillness within the Om and the silence in between the Om. Om. To the Atma, listen. Aum. Let go. Be one with the universal light, universal love, and universal will. So it is. Be still and let go now. Gently, very slowly, slide back into your physical body. Move your fingers, move your toes. Gently and slowly come back. Raise your hands for me. I'm going to release the excess energies our bodies cannot handle. We generate lots of energy. You want to make sure you don't get over-energized. Visualize all the people you love in front of you. Flood all of them with golden light. May all of them be blessed with good health, happiness, prosperity, abundance, and spirituality. So be it. Bless your job, your career with success, with progress, with advancement, and prosperity. Your career with success. So be it. Let all be blessed. Now to ground you, be aware of your feet, the base of your spine, and your hands. Just imagine filling the earth below us with golden light, and verbally repeat after me. Move your lips. This to help bring you back to the world. Let our beloved Mother Earth be blessed with divine light, divine love, and divine power. Let our beloved Mother Earth be healed, regenerated, and revitalized. Blessings be to Mother Earth. So be it, and so it is. Let all be blessed without exception. So be it. Let's give thanks to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother. Thank you to all the spiritual elders, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers. We thank you for your immense blessings. Personally, to my teacher, Master Swakok Sui, Mahaguji Mailing, we thank you for divine light, love, guidance, help, healing, and protection. Thank you all. In full faith, so it is. All right, that was a short meditation, but I think a lot of you didn't want to come back. So you're welcome to give me feedback. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you guys are. If you're on panicking.com or mastercode.org, just send us an email. Let us know how you're doing. As a lot of you who are new don't know, the ones who've been with us know we always add special sauce. You know, you go to a Chinese restaurant, they put a secret sauce to just kind of take you a little higher. So that gives you an idea. The earlier part you were chanting as the incarnated soul. Latter part, some of you, if you're still conscious, it was partially the higher soul that was chanting. That's why some of you are like, gone. Okay? But some of you who are new haven't made that strong enough of a connection, so the teacher has to give you some booster rockets. So, something like that. Anyway, I'm putting it in everyday terms. All right, so I hope you like the meditation. As always, after the meditation, you should get up, do some physical exercises to help physicalize that spiritual energy. Okay, otherwise you'll be walking around like a zombie, like, oh, like that. Okay, physical exercise allow that spiritual experience to be, let's just say, registered in your body, in your mind, in your emotions. Clear? Now, just to finish it off, if you remember, one of the statements we said earlier is mantras protect the mind. So if you ask yourself right now, how are your emotions and your thoughts right now? Most of you go like, what are you talking about? It's quiet and still. Exactly. So mantras protect your minds several ways. One, you can only think of one thing at a time. So when you stress out of your mind, when you pick a particular mantra and you keep repeating it over and over again, what that does, it focuses your mind on it. So in a sense, it acts as a shield to protect you from other thoughts. That's for, if I'm talking at Google, I'm talking at a tech company, that's how we'll explain a mantra, to a bunch of brainiacs, right? Let them understand technically. Now, if you go deeper, the way it protects your mind is, when you chant the right mantra, as the spiritual energy comes down, it disintegrates a lot of the inner noise, the thoughts and emotions that you accumulated, and the stuff that people injected in your aura. So in that sense, by chanting, it cleanses your aura and your chakras. That's how you protect your mind. Now, the third way a mantra protects your mind is when you chant a certain way and you connect to your higher soul, the divine energy that comes down, the higher energies actually control your mind, your body, and your emotions, and so it protects you from lower frequencies and vibrations. Make sense? So it's a wide range, a huge body of knowledge, and as I said, I think it's time we will come up with an online course that you can practice over and over again. We'll just call it the science of mantras for now. And we'll go in depth. Because one thing, just to kind of trigger your curiosity, do you notice that if somebody tells you to chant the mantra, or just say the word love as a mantra, right? You go, oh, love, love, yeah, I feel it. When somebody says, say agape, which is Greek for love too, right? somehow for some we go, agape, yeah, I feel it more. You know why? This is why. In addition to that, one of the powers of mantra is your perception of it. When somebody tells you a mantra in a different language, it's exotic to you, you're like, whoa, so you become more receptive. If somebody says, oh, chant the mantra love, you go, I say it all day long. But if you say, agape, suddenly, get the idea? There are many, many layers of it. That's why, even in spirituality, if you engage your higher mental faculty, you go a lot further. So if you decide, a lot of you who just came in from UPW, if you decide you want to really accelerate your spiritual development, there are many different schools that do that. Some schools are very devotional. Some schools are very mystical. We look at spirituality as a science. It's first a science, then an art. Because once it's a science, you know the mechanism, you know the principles, you know the techniques, you know the applications. You go much, much further than just plain experience. You know why? Because once you have all these components, you can replicate the results over and over and over again. Not to mention, you can have other people experience it. That's it. All right? So, against the ones who are new, if you can get a hold of the book, if you intend to take the class, it's good to read the book because if the ones who've taken the class, you know I have a tendency to overdo things. In fact, my mantra in life is, if you can't overdo it, why do it? So when we teach, we dive really deep. So try to get a hold of the book. That's, what the heck is that? October, I think 17, 18, that weekend. All right, I think I've done my job. So tonight, 6 p.m., we'll go a little deeper into the mantras, and then we'll use that also to bless the earth, okay? And a quick reminder, Friday is Emotional Healing Day, remember? And the focus we're going to have is on healing envy and jealousy. And this is one of those things where people don't realize when you envy someone, you're actually decreasing your energy level. And when you praise someone, you increase their energy, and by the law of karma, it increases yours. In other words, if somebody got a raise, and you go, oh, it should have been me, or you go like that, you'll notice your energy level drops, their energy level increases. But if somebody had a raise, or have a new car, or won the lottery, and say, oh, may you be blessed with even more, so on, so on, so, and you genuinely mean it, guess what? It helps them, and the boomerang effect on you, your energy level skyrockets. So that's why healing envy and jealousy is one of the secrets of success. Being envious of someone just drops your energy level, makes it harder for you to climb that mountain. Just a little inside tip for you, okay? So remember, Friday is Emotional Healing Day. Got it? And the ones who are in the 9-week, what do you call this thing? Deep Emotional Healing. Okay, the link is there. The details are there. The ones who are already there, just make sure you practice. It's online tomorrow. Okay. Other than that, namaste, everyone. We wish you much happiness and joy. Be super duper energized. We'd love to hear from you. If this mantra session was too much for you, you're ready to explode, or you like it because you're ready to explode, that's good too. Give us some feedback. We will see you in 7 hours and 8 minutes. Namaste.